Clerk, please roll call. Mr. Clerk is absent. So we are asking everybody to please sit as we start our meeting.
Mayor Joseph,
Present.
Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Councilwoman Keys,
Here.
Councilman Biedeme, Vice Mayor Dezume.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, we will ask Assistant Chief Bage to please lead us.
You can all stand and please face the flag. Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Going with the meeting, can you please remain standing while we have the Pastor Gregory Toussaint, who will lead us in invocation from Tabernacle of Glory.
Father God, we honor you. We thank you for the privilege, Lord, of upholding justice in this city. I pray, Lord, as they move on with this meeting tonight, that you would grant them the wisdom that they need to honor you and to contribute to the welfare of our citizens. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thank you so very much, Pastor Gregory, for showing up today and be with us. I know you will probably will not be able to stay for the length of the meeting, but I really wanted to seize the opportunity to really put my hat off to you. In the past 2 months, for 40 days, there was a huge, I don't want to say apocalypse. Maybe we can call it that, where many people actually came together for 40 days at the gymnasium of the North Miami High School, and it was all over the world. So, but I must say I'm really proud of you that you are really taking this to a higher level, and I'm very proud of you for that. Thank you very much. And now, in order of business, at this point of time, we'll ask Mr. Manager if we have any deletions, additions, or amendments to the agenda before we proceed.
Yes, I have a couple of amendments, sir. Let's see here. Item tab H needs to be removed from the agenda.
Needs to be removed?
Yes, removed and set for our next meeting.
Okay.
H.
Yeah, because
H.
because we didn't have the CRA meeting.
The CRA meeting. So that's the only one I have for right now, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I please remove tab E for discussion?
Okay, you want to take tab E out of the consent agenda
Yeah, because
and move it out
it's
for
just a
discussion?
simple question, but I know this is not the right time.
Okay.
So I just wanted to.
It is duly noted that tab E is moved out of the consent agenda for discussion.
We need a motion?
No.
No. We do. Mr. Attorney, we need a motion?
Yes, I would go ahead and do
Okay.
a motion and go ahead and approve it.
Okay. I move, Mr. Mayor, that we move tab E.
Second.
Okay.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Dezume to move tab E from the consent agenda into the regular agenda. That motion was then seconded by Mayor Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Now, before we move to the special presentations, I want to take the opportunity to also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Dave Downey, the Fire Chief, Miami-Dade County Fire Rescue. Thank you very much for being among us tonight. Thank you very much. And at this point of time, we, the council members, are going to go down and make three special presentations. Oh, and the elected clerk. The first presentation is a presentation of a scholarship award, which is going to be presented by the board of directors of the North Miami Foundation. Thank you. That's it. Who wants to speak?
Good evening, everyone. You have standing here before you the Board of Directors of the North Miami Educational Foundation, which is a 501c3 arm of the City of North Miami. We have a scholarship program, and this year we are here to award our 2016-17 scholarship recipients. We have 3 of them here. School unfortunately started yesterday, and not knowing what your classes are, they had to be in school this evening, some of them. So first I'd like to bring up Ms. Shama Torshin. Shama is a 2016 graduate of Miami Central Senior High. She's attending the Honors College at Miami-Dade College and pursuing a degree in nursing. And just so you know, these are board members. This is Mr. Branton. He's the principal of North Miami Senior High. Ms. Sophia Hall, she's a and she was selected by our developer, Solomia. Also, we have Mr. Clark Reynolds, an active businessman in the city of North Miami. And, oh, I'm so sorry, because we work together. This is Chief Jariga, Assistant Chief Jariga, but he's also on the board, appointed by our city manager. He and the deputy city manager are a part of this board as well. And our illustrious president, Stephen Mall, he's the vice provost of Florida International University, North Campus. Okay, you want to take her? Okay. All right. Let's have her. Okay, our next recipient is Melanie Longsworth. Now, Melanie is a City of North Miami employee, summer worker, all those things. And Melanie is a 2016 graduate of Alonzo and Tracy Morning High School. She's attending Miami-Dade College as well, also pursuing a degree in nursing. And our other recipient is Valoni Richardson, also a City of North Miami summer employee. Valoni is a 2015 graduate of North Miami Senior High. She's attending FIU and pursuing a degree in nursing. This is Valoni's second year receiving this award. Just to let you know as well, we've already distributed $24,000 in scholarships since the inception of the organization, and now this year each student will receive $4,000, and we distribute it $2,000 per semester. They have to qualify for the spring, so they have to do well in the fall. And I would be remiss if I don't mention Mr. Danny Salas. He's representing Solomia. And when we got started, it was Solomia that said, look, we're going to give you money for education. And they committed $750,000 towards this scholarship program, payable over 5 years, but they're on time with the check. Thank you.
Okay. You know, when you have a building or monument, and one of the pillars of this monument is about to take off or to be displaced, it's always a bad feeling. I don't like to be too sentimental, but for 27 years, we know that we have a member of the police department who has been working diligently to see to it that the safety of our community is well acknowledged. So today it's with, quite a little bit of sadness that we're making this presentation to Major Trevor Shen. I don't see him though. Oh, he's right here. And well, they tell me to say all of this about you, that you were born in 1987. No? That you've been with the police force for 27 years and pretty much major. I cannot read too well with these glasses. There you go. Oh, there you go. It was too far. So Major Shen pretty much has held a variety of positions within the department, including patrol officer, canine officer, and detective in the crime suppression unit, as well as in the general investigations unit. So Major pretty much was later promoted as police sergeant as Major. He was an experienced SWAT team member as firearms instructor. He was recognized as the department officer of the month on 5 occasions. 5 occasions. That's what you're supposed to clap. He was selected by as the department's officer of the year in 2002. So at this time, I don't know if of course the chief is going to come forward with me, and we would like to present Major Chen to receive a commendation on behalf of the city council and this great city of North Miami, as well as the chief of the police department. If I have the commendation, I can give it. Okay.
Yes, it is indeed a pleasure and honor for me to be here to present this honor to what I believe the mayor made a small snafu. He's not major. He's retired as an assistant chief because he got promoted upon retirement. I will say on behalf of the city of North Miami, we commend you for your leadership, professionalism, and dedication for the past 27 years with the North Miami Police Department. In honor of your retirement with the city of North Miami, we extend our warmest appreciation and gratitude for all that you have devoted to the residents of this great city. Your hard work and commitment is greatly appreciated. We wish you continued success in your future endeavor. Once again, congratulations to a good friend. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's been an honor, and it's 27 and a half, but actually it's 50. Born and raised here, played in the parks here, mentored by staff in Parks and Recreation, traveled the hallways in the schools here, graduated from North Miami High, proud to be affiliated to that school and some of the people who continue to work to educate and mentor our youth. A lot of mentors have passed, and I've had an opportunity to mentor a lot of people, not only officers, but the youth in this community. One of the youth is Duke Story. Don't hide. I coached Duke when he was 11, 12, 13 years of age, about 3 years old. There was a weight restriction too, and I think he played on the 95-pound team. On Tuesday, August 9th, I had an opportunity to don my uniform, my Class A uniform for the last time. And I took my time, and it was an honor. As I put those sleeves, my arms through those sleeves, it was an honor because I felt the tradition of the men and women, and not only the men and women, but the people in this community, the leaders that have come and gone. Some have passed, who've given their lives to this community, and I was just so honored to be part of it. And I'm going to continue to be part of it. It's my home. I'm going to continue to network. I have a twin brother who I'm proud to say that he is now the principal at Alonzo Moore Senior High. He started 2 weeks ago, so he's going to be reaching out to the city officials to partner up and build relationships. So I thank the community. I thank the administration here, the administration that's passed, the administration that's going to come and continue the efforts here. And I thank the men and women who wear the blue and put that badge on every day as first responders. So thank you.
Now the next presentation goes to the budget department. Well, whoever's doing what he or she is doing, keep doing it, because you got to keep those hours coming for 3 consecutive years. I don't know if you guys have somebody higher up that you talk to. You don't? You just do a good job, right? There you go. If the manager would come forward, I would appreciate it. The manager and the deputy manager, because you guys are the ones who really do the hard work and look over all the departments and see to it that we have a balanced budget every year. For the last presentation, we honored our officers in one of our officers, and we did the scholarship presentations. But this is a very important one with the fact that it is our department every year. He works very diligently to see to it that we have a balanced budget. But the Government Finance Officer Associations, the GFOA, for Distinguished Budget Presentation Awards for fiscal year 2015 and 16, specifically the North Miami Annual Budget Book. That book was actually presented. It was presented to a National Independent Review Committee, and pretty much the utility as a financial plan, policy document, operations guide, and communications device. So the Government Finance Officer Association basically has been promoting the preparation of high quality budget documents since 1984. So the main goal for that is to encourage and to assist and to ensure that municipal governments do prepare balanced an excellent and high-quality budget documents for the benefits of the citizens who actually pay taxes in the community or in the cities where they evolve. And I must tell you that less than 5% of municipalities in the U.S. are able to secure this award. Less than 5%, are able to do it annually. And we've done it this time for the 3rd consecutive year. So I will say no more at this time. I will ask either the manager or the deputy manager, whoever will defer to whom, to come and say a few words and help me make this presentation.
Again, I'm a new manager, but I'm an actual member of the GFOA and have been for about 13 years myself. I've been distinguished enough to receive this award in other jurisdictions that I've worked, so it is a very important and significant award. And I want to thank Mr. Sori, Mr. Henley, John, and the rest of the staff. Roy's not here, I don't see him, for the hard work. We're in the middle of a lot of that hard work right now. I've actually spent 4 or 5 hours with Terry today, so it is very significant, and we want to do the same thing on the finance side. So congratulations to you all.
This is Terry's first year manning the budget office as the leader. So, I mean, it's really a big deal. I left Terry in the middle of the budget process last year to take it on for himself. So, very proud of Terry for going and keeping the tradition going. So, just wanted to recognize him, tell him great job. And John's new to the budget office, so they, along with Roy, so they did a great job last year. So, good job, fellas.
The manager's words summed it up. And in essence, this is a high-quality budget document that we are very proud to produce for the residents and the businesses of North Miami because you deserve it. So we want to let you know we're very grateful to serve you and produce this for you. And we hope to have many more for years to come. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Timothy for city events.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and members of the public. My name is Cassandra Timothy, Public Information Specialist, here to share all of the exciting events brought to you by the City of North Miami. Jazz at Mocha is South Florida's longest-running free outdoor jazz concert series. Enjoy these outdoor performances on the last Friday of every month in the Mocha Plaza. On Friday, August 26th, enjoy the soothing sounds of Glenn Dryhurst Dixieland Jazz Band, beginning at 8 p.m. in the Mocha Plaza. Just a friendly reminder, North Miami administrative offices will be closed on Monday, September 5th, in observance of Labor Day. Join North Miami Mayor Dr. Smith Joseph and Code Fever Miami at the third quarter 7 Series Business Luncheon as they discuss tech skills and entrepreneurship training on Thursday, September 8th from 12 to 2 p.m. at Fiat of North Miami. The Get in Gear Community Bike Ride takes place on the second Saturday of every month. Come out on Saturday, September 10th at 8 a.m. in the Mocha Plaza. Helmets are required for participants under the age of 16. September 15 to October 15 is National Hispanic Heritage Month. The City of North Miami has several events planned throughout the month. Save the date for the third annual La Gran Fiesta celebration on Saturday, September 24th from 7 to 11 p.m. in the Mocha Plaza. Join the City of North Miami on International Coastal Cleanup Day as we clean the waterways at North Bayshore William Lemon Park on Saturday, September 17th. Registration begins at 8 a.m. Participants may sign up to volunteer by visiting www.volunteercleanup.org. Stay tuned by watching our free governmental programming, NOMI TV, available 24 hours a day through the city's website. Like the City of North Miami on Facebook, follow at NOMI News on Twitter, and download the MyNOMI app. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Timothy. I believe we have no updates on city projects. Hurricane preparedness, nothing. Oh, yes.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the county, the council, excuse me, members of the community. Just some brief updates on hurricane preparedness. As we all know, hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th. At this time, there are several systems out in the Atlantic. Fiona has been downgraded to a tropical depression. There's no impact on South Florida at this time. Hurricane Gaston is forecast to stay into the Atlantic, and it will not affect South Florida at all. And the latest storm system will be upgraded to tropical storm status, and that will be Hermione. And over the next couple of days, we will learn more about whether or not that storm system will have any effect on South Florida. But whatever occurs, North Miami is a very resilient city, and we are prepared to respond to any event that occurs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right before, if I may, the members of the council, do we have any questions for him? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead. We're good. Thank you very much, officer. Because while I get your attention, I just want to take one or 2 minutes to brief you a little bit on Zika, which is pretty much a pandemic in the world. Back in February 2016, just to bring you up to speed, the World Health Organization declared that epidemic a healthcare emergency. And once that's done, then the federal government had the responsibility to act. And we know that it's a problem that's been affecting our state of Florida, and even closely Miami-Dade County, and even closer Wynwood and Miami Beach. And a couple of weeks ago, I participated in a press conference alongside with Bill Nelson, Senator Bill Nelson and other mayors of the county. As a matter of fact, about a couple of hours ago, I did receive a phone call from BBC Radio in Boston, Massachusetts. They wanted to know exactly what we are doing as a municipality to really address this issue with the residents. So it is a problem in our community, and as elected officials, as a government, we are taking the necessary steps, and the county is doing whatever it can. And I believe I saw in the news the other day that the governor has already he put aside about $5 million to be allocated to the county for efforts to eradicate this disease. Last week, there was an article where the two companies, actually one from Korea and one based in New Jersey, they teamed up to work on a vaccine, and they already went through trials in animals, and now they are going to initiate the trials in human. So pretty much this is a good, very, very good news for us, and anything else that we have to do. And I sat down with the city manager, I believe maybe a couple of weeks ago, and the city, and I believe I cannot speak or talk directly to the council members, but I believe it's the job of the city manager to make sure that all council members are aware of what's going on, and it is something that is being done in unison, and to let the citizens to really educate and inform the citizens about the Zika virus. It's a problem. It's affecting tourists, the tourist industry, as you know, Miami Beach is pretty much the mecca, as well as Wynwood. So we have to do whatever it is that we can. So we, in the, I would say the week or days to come, we're going to be holding some town hall meetings where we're going to invite the public to actually come and let them know what we're going to be doing, and in terms of distributing flyers. And there's a PSA coming up through the pipeline, and the manager is working in tandem with staff at the Miami-Dade County level to bring up-to-date information to us. If that's all I wanted to say about the Zika. And if anybody wants to piggyback on it and say something that I probably have missed. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to move with the consent agenda.
So moved.
As amended.
So I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda as amended, which excludes tab E, so it's items A through D. And that motion was then seconded by Vice Mayor Desiree. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab E. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, ratifying the city manager's approval of a purchase order to Caven, Thompson and Associates, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $70,000 pursuant to resolution number 2016 R74 to provide engineering services for the preparation and submittal of Phase 3 Sanitary Sewer Evaluation Survey to Miami-Dade County Department of Regulatory and Environmental Resources Management in accordance with requests for qualifications, continuing architectural and engineering services, RFQ number 12-14-15, and resolution number 2015 R52, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
We have staff presentation. Go ahead.
Do you want? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager. The reason I pulled this item, I don't really have a particular concern, but I have a question rather. I know that the threshold before we put it through consent agenda is 50, correct? So if it's, am I correct? Well, okay. So can we? I know this group is particular part of the pool. Am I correct? Part of the vending pool.
That's correct.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. So as a result of that, is that why it was through the consent agenda, because they already approved through that?
Yes, through the mayor.
I guess the real answer to that question, this item is ratifying. It's here, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
This item is actually ratifying my approval of the contract. We approved it under the.
Actually, Mr. Because, wait a minute. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Making fun of it.
Under the resolution that was passed by the council during your recess, you gave myself, the city attorney, the clerk, the authority to move forward on certain items. This item came up during that time frame, so that's why it was put on consent.
Okay.
As just more of a
formality
for us to formally notify you that an action was taken during the break, and these are the details of that action.
Okay. I mean, if everybody's okay with it, I'm okay, but I don't want us to go by our own rule of 50,000 and then we see it in the consent. That was all just for clarification. Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Yeah, that's good. I'm good. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve tab E?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab E. That motion was then seconded. Hold on. And tab, it was also, I'm sorry. I was just informed by the city attorney that we have to open it for public forum.
Public comment, Mayor, as we would do for any resolution.
Okay, so at this time, let's, we had tab E, right?
Yes.
Okay, tab E is now open for the public, for public hearing. Anyone who wishes to be heard on this item, please come forward to the mic and do so. But I see no one coming, so public hearing is now closed.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab E. That motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab F. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's competitive selection of Supreme International Services, LLC, and Chai Ida Corporation as the two highest ranked contractors to furnish all materials, equipment, tools, machinery, supervision, expertise, and services necessary to provide janitorial services at city facilities as designated by city administration to both contractors in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the request for a proposal, janitorial services RFP, specifications contained in the request for a proposal, janitorial services RFP number 18-15-16 as amended, further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute agreements in selected contractors for the provision of services for a combined annual amount not to exceed $200,000. And in the event the contract negotiations fail, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with the next highest ranked contractor until an agreement is reached and executed, providing an effective date and for all other purposes. That was tab F.
Staff presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Alberto Estrade, Purchasing Department. This was a solicitation that was issued by our department on April 27th this year. There were 13 applicants or 13 proposals that were submitted in response to the solicitation for janitorial services. This was a two-tier evaluation process. The initial phase, the evaluation committee shortlisted 7 firms and then went on to interview those 7 firms. You have the results there attached as part of the council report. The final ranking had the firms of Supreme International Services and Chai Ada Corporation as the top 2 ranked firms, and staff is recommending to the council your approval of the final results of the evaluation committee and also the authority to proceed to finalize contracts and negotiate with these 2 firms.
Okay, who was the next highest ranked again?
Okay, the final ranking, Mr. Mayor, and again it's attached in the council report.
Yeah, it should be
the final
there.
ranking is Supreme International.
Yeah.
Chai Ada Corporation, American Facility Services, and Sunshine Cleaning Systems, in that order.
So
Well, the reason why I asked the question is because this is the first time that I've seen a proposition, a resolution rather, presented where there is a backup company listed in case negotiations fail. But so just mentioning in case negotiations fail, that means we are going with the idea or the possibility that, I don't know, what's going to be discussed with that company. Why do we have to foresee that this may happen? Is there some kind of signal or element or hidden element that is not really being conveyed clearly? I would be more comfortable to see a resolution that is drafted where the contract is awarded to the highest rank. That's it. And of course, it is automatic if it's, no, not automatic. If the negotiations do fail, which I don't usually see stated in any resolution, then at that point of time, then the council or whichever way that procurement goes, then it will proceed as such.
So, through the mayor, it is customary to see these types of resolutions pass in a ranking situation. There are many situations where the municipality and the vendor cannot come to final terms for whatever reason. The one I've usually seen is indemnification in my municipal history. By adding the second, giving the administration the permission ahead of time to just simply move to the second ranked firm, it expedites the process. Otherwise, we'd have to come back to the council and formally request to be allowed to go and negotiate with the second ranked firm. So, which would delay the time frame to get everything done. If you look around a bunch of municipalities, typically you will see first rank and then second rank in the event that you cannot come to terms. I don't know if the city attorney wants to chime in. Yeah, we did it with traffic circles.
The traffic circle, we had to come back. The traffic circle on the west side when something happened to the.
Use your mic.
One example is the traffic circle that we currently are still waiting to begin on the west side of the city. Something happened to the business owner, and we were back and forth trying to work with the other company. Then we had to wait until we came back for a council meeting 2 weeks later to get you guys approval to go ahead and start trying to negotiate with the second company.
I mean, it puts the highest ranked company in kind of a bind, knowing that there is another company right behind their neck, waiting for the negotiations to fail. And just
from my
it's hard.
At the end of the
that
day,
means, whatever it is that you come up with during the negotiations, they're almost obligated to agree to accept it because they know that there is a company just waiting for them to fail
If I may, Mayor, that's always the case. It's always the case that if you don't negotiate, if you're the person that gets the contract, it's always the case that if you don't negotiate something with the
But
city.
just putting it on paper puts more pressure on
As
it.
the manager, no, it's not for pressure, manager. As we mentioned, it's for the timing, so that we don't have to come back. But it's a question of process. It's whether if you like it, you can do it. If you don't like it, you take it out. And it just means that if it fails, you'll have to wait for another meeting to come back.
And that's what I was going to say. If that's
So it is that urgent.
Well, for our our internal services and support that we need, yes, it would be to our benefit to have that ability to expedite getting to a contract. But if it is the council's wish, for us to bring those things back, then it's the council's wish. I don't have a problem with it. Because that part of it is a policy decision. So,
Mr. Mayor, if you allow,
Go ahead.
can I please ask a question? Well, not really a
Not
question.
the court.
But no, I know, but you were speaking. I want to make something very clear. The manager and I, we had a conversation this afternoon, and I'm glad that backed up document is provided. However, I just want people to know that everything was done in transparent with this particular bid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Okay, I just want to make sure, and then the manager and I will have a conversation later regarding some stuff, but that's basically it. Thank you.
All right.
Are we motion?
Public hearing? Oh, I thought we had public hearing. We
No,
closed
not
it.
for this one.
Really? Oh, that was tough presentation. Okay, now let's open it to public, right? And give the public the opportunity for them to be heard.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Frank Wolin. I'm an attorney at 12865 West Dixie Highway, and I represent Supreme, which was the #1 ranked company in the bidding, and we participated in the process. And we were ranked #1, and I believe that if you look at the tallies and how they were ranked that way, it's because we had the benefit of local preference. So we're the #1 company, and I share the sentiments of the mayor, which is that if we were ranked as the #1 company, why shouldn't we have the opportunity
to go ahead and enter into a contract or the negotiations for a contract with staff without the, well, if you don't go the way we want, you know, we're going to do the deal with the other guy. I once negotiated a lease with a landlord who every time one of the points of lease didn't go his way, he reached for the phone to call the other guy who wanted the same space. And it was a very intimidating way to do business. My client and the gentleman who's going to be supervising this particular contract, if it's awarded by the city, lives about 7 blocks away from here. He's got his whole life in the cleaning business. The company that I represent is down on West Dixie Highway. So the people who are doing the work live here, they're your neighbors. The company is a local business. And we're now going to compete, even though we were ranked #1, with a company that does business in 3 states and has more than 3 million feet under contract and is in every city and every county. So I'm not sure what the purpose of the local preference is if you're going to disregard it when you award the contract. But I would ask that you make that consideration and give the local preference what it's supposed to mean. At the end of the resolution, it says if they can't, then they can go to the next bidder. So you could pass that same resolution. And then if we don't reach a contract, staff can go to the next bidder, which would be the
Okay.
#2.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, okay, I have a concern, well, a question more of to the attorney. Mr. Rowland is I guess, yeah, well, he's Mr. Rowland, you know. Attorney Rowland is representing this company. Is there any supporting document in this, or is it okay, or for the other firms to have representation?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the question.
No, he's the question is as well. He's an attorney representing the client, his client. I'm saying, is that
No, there's
legal?
no issue with that.
There's no issue.
No, I mean he's the representative of the person who's going to enter the contract. There's no issue with that.
So where's the person? I'm saying, so is Mr. Rowland? My question would be: is Mr. Rowland would be the person that we enter in? I guess it's
No, he's entering. We're entering a contract with.
You represent the #1.
We're entering.
No,
a
I
contract
know.
With,
I'm going so.
The name of the company is
Okay.
Supreme International Services LLC, who's represented by counsel tonight. That's all.
Okay.
He's just here representing as his attorney.
Okay.
No issue.
Do you have any questions for me?
You can come to the mic. You have 2 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, just a question. In that resolution, we are not rewarding 2 companies.
No.
It's 1 company. In case the negotiation fail, then we go to the next one, but the resolution is not approving 2 companies. It's approving 1 company, which is Supreme International. If the negotiation fail, then we go to the next one. It's not a presentation about 2 companies, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it is. Mr. Manager, that's what it is.
That is correct. That is correct.
Good evening, Mayor, the councilman, the city officials. My name is Bart Okoro. I'm the president of Chai Eda Corporation. I have listened to the council representing.
Can you please state your address as well?
Excuse me?
Your address.
My address is 135 Northwest 163rd Street, Miami. We are here in Miami. We are a local company here. I heard the attorney said we are in 3 states. We can be in 10 states, but our local headquarters is right here in North Miami. So being in 3 states does not exclude us from the local preference. Most of our employees live here in the city of North Miami. We have been doing business for over 10 years. We have been here participating in most activities the city of Miami does. So even though the conclusion is not yet drawn because there will be a negotiation, the committee that met and ranked number 1 and number 2, there is no mistake. In many contracts, 2 companies, 3 companies can be selected. If the city decide to award the contract to 3 companies, it's not the prerogative of any company to say unless they are given the entire contract, nobody else should have a portion of it. I think this contract have several buildings that 2 companies can be awarded the contract. We are locally here, we can share part of this contract. And I'm here to prove that we are local company and we are represented.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open, but no one is coming to the mic, so public hearing is now closed. Members of the council, if you have any comments, go ahead.
I'd like to ask for the mayor a question to our attorney. The way I'm looking at this contract, we have selected 2 highest bidders. The way this is reading, in my opinion, is that we are going to negotiate with both the top 2, and we are going to possibly split the contract. Because we're giving the authority to the manager to negotiate with the contractors. It's not saying everything's going to Supreme. If they don't enter into it, then we go to the other one. I mean, that's why I'm reading it.
No, let me back up. So this procurement was out before I got here. The way I normally see RFPs and the way we probably will move forward is the city will probably in future RFPs just have the contract in the RFP, and then whoever wins the contract just signs the contract that we provide them. That's the way it's normally done. This idea that we're negotiating terms, the only term we're really negotiating is the price. I believe that's the only thing in question. So that we're negotiating the price, and then we'll decide what the price is. If it's a price that we all are okay with, then that's where we go. All we're authorizing tonight is that you're authorizing the manager to negotiate with Supreme International Services LLC. That's it. If Supreme International LLC, if those negotiations fail, then you're allowing the manager to go forward and negotiate with Chiata Corporation. But that again is a policy decision. That's always the case. It's always the case if the number 1 bidder doesn't reach a contract with the city, you would move on to the second. All this does is expedite the time frame for doing that. So it's really a policy decision. If you all don't want to do it that way, then the resolution could just say negotiate with Supreme International Services LLC, period. And will we be back here next week if it doesn't go forward? That's all.
I would respectfully comment that the way I'm reading that is we are allowing our manager to contract with both companies, and I mean, I would, if the intent is one company and then first, if Supreme is first and then she is second, then it should say we're going to authorize manager to negotiate with Supreme. If we can't enter into a contract, then we go to the second highest to make it clear. Because right now it just says.
I see what you're saying. Actually, the language both contractors is confusing.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So, through the mayor, may I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
That we just award it to Supreme. That's it.
So you would have to make an amendment.
I can't make an amendment.
Okay, yeah, that would be fine. I mean, it's okay. Thank you very much. Because the way it's presented to us, it's like a guy who wants to get married, but he has 2 ladies. You say, I'm gonna go to lady A first.
The best prenuptial wins?
Yeah, the best prenuptial wins. It's like Lady A would have a hard time, man. It's like, oh my God, whatever you want.
I would like to say that I think the contract that's going to be used is not going to be any different. It's not going to be onerous or anything. And if we amended it to say that we're going to negotiate with Supreme under a regular course of business contract, and if contract negotiations fail, then we can go to the next highest bidder. I think that's important because we do eliminate another RFP. We have done that with professionals where we have picked somebody and we couldn't enter into a contract. So to avoid another RFP and going through this in time, I would like to say we're gonna do it with Supreme. If we can't get into a normal contract, nothing onerous, and the other company will agree to it, I mean, that should be fair. But I think we
It's
should
up
make,
to you all
I
to
think we should
amend the
make it
resolution
clear
as you
that
wish.
if it's only gonna be one contract, we have to say Supreme, and then if that fails, we have a backup.
Okay.
So someone
So you
needs
want to
to
make
make a motion.
a motion for?
Make a motion to amend the resolution that we give the authority to the manager to negotiate with Supreme, the highest bidder, the whole name, Supreme International Services LLC, as the highest bidder. If we cannot enter and finalize a contract, then we proceed negotiations with the second highest bidder, Chi Ada Corporation.
I second that.
Okay, I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab F as amended, as stated on the record. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
I stated on the record, negotiate with one company. Not-
Well, this motion is on the motion on the
Okay,
amendment she
okay,
just
based
said.
on what she said. Okay.
Right, so that's the motion that we have. The amendment that's, so we have let me repeat that. So we have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab F as amended, as stated on the record. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab G. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to execute a first option to renew professional services agreement between the city of North Miami and Country Bills Lawn Maintenance, Inc. for the provision of lawn landscaping and irrigation maintenance services at various locations throughout the city in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the invitation for bid number 16-12-13, lawn maintenance services at a cost not to exceed $250,000 for a period of 1 year, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you. It seems like staff has something to present on this.
Mr. Mayor, council members, what you have before you is simply a recommendation to exercise the first renewal of the lawn maintenance services contract. This was a contract that was entered into by the city in September 2013. It lasted for 3 years, and what you have before you is a renewal of 1 year renewal, extending the contract from September 2016 through August 31st, 2017.
Through the mayor, one brief correction. That renewal option is in the RFP document.
Okay, the item is now open to the public.
Hi, my name is Eliana Albarran. I live in 849 Northeast 121st Street. I was informed by Laura Hill from the NOMI neighbors that the city had hired someone from FIU to conduct a study on the potential health and environmental consequences of using pesticides. I wanted to follow up on that, and I wanted to see if Bill's Lawn Services was going to be using pesticides and herbicides, and how that relates to concerns about proceeding towards banning these potentially hazardous
Thank you.
chemicals.
Public hearing is still open.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff. John Allred, 2672 Northeast 135 Street. I'm the president of Country Bills Lawn Maintenance. We've had the pleasure of working for the city for, as the low bidder for maybe almost a dozen bids for the past 28 years. My staff is made up of entirely of North Miami residents, so as you see the gentlemen working out there, they are your neighbors. They are residents. They're very hardworking people. And we'd like this opportunity to continue to serve the city with the execution of this first option to renew on a potential five-year deal. We've completed the first 3 years. And feel like there's always room for improvement, but pretty much everybody and staff members has my telephone number. If there's ever a problem, if it's not solved same day, it's pretty much guaranteed by the next day by noon. And that's a promise we've always stood by, and it's one I can always guarantee and make a promise back to you all. And I hope that you will move this proposal of the renewal forward. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yeah, it seems like there is no one coming to the mic, so public hearing is now closed. Steven.
And John, let me ask you a question. What part, the contract is for the entire city?
Yes, sir. Well, not the entire city. We do not do the entire city. We do portions of the city. The Parks Department also does portions of the city.
Can you tell me what part of the
We
city?
work in conjunction with the
Park
Parks
and Rec
Department.
does? Is in there? The locations?
There's an attached schedule.
Okay.
It is.
There, currently, the Country Bill is responsible for most of the right-of-ways, the medians, those type of
What about
projects.
those new traffic circles?
The traffic circles were installed by the CRA, the majority of them. They don't do those, our staff does them. I mean,
But in all the traffic circles are Park and Rec responsibility, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. My particular question and concern has always been, well, the little part that they do on in my district. And I am aware that, you know, throughout the entire year, we've been continuing having conversation, not as much as I would like, on some of those areas, but I would like to see if we do decide to continue more areas, at least in my district, because it's like 95% is on the east side. And the little that is, it's not being done properly, which I've shared with you several times. The swell on Northwest 17th Avenue, from 119th to is that our park, recreation department that's overseeing that, or that's Country Bill? From 119 to 135th, on 17th Avenue, the outskirts where we have the closure, the road closures.
The road closures, I believe, are Parks and Recreation's responsibility.
No, they're Country Bills.
Oh.
They're Northwest 70. We do those 28 services per year. So in the winter months, we're only there once every 14 days, and then unless the Parks Department comes back between those 14 days, we're not there.
Well, and that's the problem. So, Mr. Manager, I don't know how we could fix that, because not only they are dirty, we only have one medium, which is on 127th Street. And I know he doesn't do nothing on 7th Avenue. Correct, Mr. Deputy? It's FDOT? Okay.
7th Avenue is not ours.
No, I know. No, but the medium, so you do take it from 7th to 17th on 127?
127th from 7 to 17th is
17th
ours. So
Avenue.
is Northwest 11th Avenue from 127 to 131.
Yeah, those are okay. My
Those are
main
mine.
concerns are the outskirts of 119.
The 127 and Northwest 11th Avenue receive additional 6 trash litter services in addition to those 28 services we provide. There was an addition in the contract for certain areas. Those two, that street and that avenue, are part of that additional litter pickup. So is Biscayne Boulevard, Northwest, Northeast 6th Avenue, West Dixie Highway, Northwest 119, and then Parks Department has their staff.
119 and what Ave?
Northwest 119 from 7 to 10th Avenue. They get additional 6 litter pickups, and then the Parks and Recreation, they pick up in between.
So, Mr. Manager, how can we work in conjunction with the Parks and Rec Department to ensure that not only these areas are being picked up? Have you been out there? It's Mr. No, not the deputy. I'm saying to the manager. Well, no, I'm asking him, has he been from 119 to 135th? It's not looking too good.
Well, I have been out there. I have not been specifically looking at the status of repair.
And
But
looking at this report, it's 95% are in one area. Maybe that's part of the problem why it's kind of looking dirty on the other side. So I don't know how we could work something between Parks and Country Bill to at least ensure, because looking at this, 95% of your cleanup by him is throughout the city except one district.
Okay, what we can do, we have the schedule here, and I guess work with the vendor to modify the schedule to add those additional areas. I'd also have to look at, I guess, the street responsibilities. I know on 7th Avenue, we've already reached out to FDOT with regards to the Chinatown project and us taking over that area anyways. So that's not a problem from my perspective. So.
Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I don't remember how long ago it was where we had a few complaints about the company Country Bill, about not really performing, up to par. And we do have that on record if we go back to the minutes or go back to the videos. And so lack of performance has always been an issue, with the company Country Bill. So I think the normal way of doing business, at least it is for me, because I have contract, with people in my personal business. When it's time for me to renew them, I sit down and I evaluate, those consultants, those companies, and see what the relationship, what their performance has been. Now, since we know that this issue was coming, this resolution was coming tonight, has the company, have any of you guys sat down with the company and evaluate how they've been performing for the past year or two? How many complaints that we've been getting?
Mr. Mayor, I'm sure that that there is an evaluation that's been performed of this vendor.
Now, don't tell me you're sure. Do you know that there is one?
Through the city manager. At the time when we were receiving the multiple the complaints over those couple meetings you're referring to, Mr. Mayor, our Parks and Rec director, Mr. Coker, did go out. We did have calls placed into Mr. Ulrich to basically to improve on his performance. I haven't had any complaints from the Parks and Recreation director after those comments, and I don't think we had anything else come up at any other council meetings. But we did reach out and have a meeting with Mr. Ulrich to discuss those matters when the
Was that reduced to writing? Do we have a copy of a report of
no,
those meetings?
No, it was a phone call at a meeting. The Parks and Rec director met with him, and that was it.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to. I've known nothing but good work from Mr. Allred's organization from Country Bill, so I'd like to move approval of the item.
I would second that.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve tab G. That motion was then seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes with a 4-1 vote.
My vote is nay as well.
I'm sorry. Item passes with a 3-2 vote. Just for the record, the nay votes were Vice Mayor Desimay and Mayor Joseph. Yes. Tab I. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, designating a portion of the median located east of Biscayne Boulevard within the vicinity of 2000 Northeast 135th Street and 2600 Northeast 135th Street, approximately 0.6 of a mile in length as illustrated in the attached map, as a passive park, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to effectuate the designation, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Staff presentation? No?
All right, I'll be staff at this moment. Hi, Mayor and Council. This actually is an idea that originated with several members of the Arch Creek East Neighborhood Association over the last few years. Alana Burdick, who has passed away this last year, was one of the persons who spearheaded it. Along Northeast 135th Street, east of Biscayne, as you go back east toward the Environmental Preserve, there's a series of grass medians along the street. So you've got one way west and one way east on 135th Street. Separating them are a bunch of grass medians. They had the great idea to designate those grass medians as
passive parks for a few reasons. Obviously, we need more parkland throughout the city, and this would help us in our general overall master plan with creating new parkland. Simply by designating existing land as parks, it would protect it for future generations and keeping it as a nice grassy area. And obviously, in today's world of climate change, being so close to the bay, it allows those areas to remain as drainage, if you will, for any heavy rainfalls or any other water intrusion, you know, a storm coming in off of the east, etc. It would allow those green areas to serve their green purpose. So I like the idea that the residents had put forward and bringing it forward, hopefully for council approval tonight.
The item is now open to the public. Public hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd respectfully move approval.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Bename.
I didn't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can we have some discussion before we get into that?
Well, if there's not a second, it dies for lack of a second. Discussion officially comes after.
Yeah.
Can you withdraw your motion so we can discuss it first?
I'm stunned to find out that there wouldn't even be a second for this. So no, I leave my motion for passive park creation on the table.
So we had a motion made by Councilman Galvin. That motion failed for lack of second. Okay, motion fails for lack of second. Tab J. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city
I
manager.
believe, I'm sorry, I wanted to give the opportunity to Councilwoman because because after the motion failed, she wanted to express herself.
I don't want to turn down this opportunity to have a park, but I did speak to staff, and the way the resolution reads, we're just saying, go ahead and turn it into a park. I've asked for information regarding what does it mean to be a park. We have open green space, it's beautiful now, we've got the doggy stations.
It doesn't do anything more than designate the existing green space as park.
Okay, I don't know, staff has not given me a report, we have to change zoning or comp plan. I understand there's a possible risk management issue. Do we have more liability? We do have a street that has traffic going both ways at 35 miles an hour. Do we want to draw people into a park in a median where there's this traffic? There's no parking, there's lift stations, there's a lot of questions. I would like to go ahead and get some answers and then move forward with it, as opposed to just saying, yes, it's a park, poof, magic wand, it's a park. I'd like to know what it takes.
But poof, magic wand, it's a park. People already walk their dogs there. I lived there for 15 years. People are already using it as open area green space.
I'd like
It's just a grass median that I'm suggesting we reclassify as a passive park.
And I'm just asking, what is the legal meaning to change it? What is our obligation? What is our risk? What is our cost? To not just, just a report.
No. I'm thoroughly frustrated at this moment, Councilwoman. This city needs parks. This whole community needs green space.
I don't disagree, but I want to know what it is before I agree to something.
Then why wait till now to ask those questions? I'm just sort of dumbfounded that the neighbors in this area proposed this reclassification.
The first I heard of a reclassification was last week when I went over the agenda with my staff, and I asked them all these questions. I haven't gotten anything. I need a report. Our attorney was not available. So I asked these questions last week. I would like you to just postpone it 2 weeks so we can get staff report. I understand staff has concerns, various staff, with risk management, etc. I just like...
Staff has never expressed any of those concerns to me. And I've been pushing this along with the help of the residents for months. Are there questions you have that you've then never brought to my attention?
From my perspective, Councilman, through the mayor, I just had my briefing with the councilwoman. We went through a bunch of her questions, and I've been asked to go through and get some of this information. So I personally have not had the opportunity to go through and vet this stuff, the questions that were posed by the councilwoman. So if you want to postpone it,
No, I want it to fail tonight now. I want it to fail, and if nobody else on this council likes the idea, I just want it to be done. I'm not gonna play this game either. Look, this is a creative way of creating new parkland. This is providing more green space in an area that immediately abuts Biscayne Bay. When the tides come in from storms, if it's not parkland, it could potentially be developed as streets and pavement. That's what I'm looking to avoid. Less pavement, more green space, more drainage. If the council doesn't feel the same way, let's tell our residents we disagree. That's
Mr. Mayor, can I say something?
Go ahead.
The place or the location you are referring to is already a green space. It's not like we are against a green space. It's a green space, and every morning I saw 10 of not 100 dogs driving by, people walking their dog. That's mean it's already a green space. Now what you are saying is like, and how do you call it? It just make it a passive park. It's like we are putting a new park. It's not a new park. It's already a green space, and people are enjoying it. That's when we're not against green space. And Councilman Galvin.
Councilman Buname, I would agree with you. It's existing green space. People already play on it. People already walk their dogs on it. It's an extra wide grassy median on 135th Street east of Biscayne. It doesn't have any designation right now. My hope is, because the residents of the area advocated for it, is that we just call it a passive park. We're not looking to install benches, not looking to install bathrooms, not looking to do anything other than just reclassify it as park. I thought it was a pretty ingenious idea, because across the city we've talked about creating pocket parks in city-owned open land that are just sort of there. We've talked about using low-lying residential lots and buying them and creating pocket parks so that the area has more room to drain when big storms come in. This was just taking the idea to a logical conclusion, in my opinion, that we were creating new passive parks, not parks with signs on them, not just passive parks.
That, Councilman Galvin, which I think everyone here would say, majority of us, or all of us, are very in supportive of green parks. I just got in yesterday. I didn't have a chance to review the agenda with the manager, but my question would have been, if it's already a green park or a green space there, what's the definition or the meaning behind a passive park? I didn't, that's why I really wanted at least to have a discussion to have these questions, but since it's already failed, we should just go ahead. It's okay. I see her telling, but she knows, that's fine.
I don't want to vote against it, I just want to know what it means.
But here's the thing, council members, and allow me to be incredibly frustrated if I'm not already. You know we're meeting tonight. I recognize everybody took vacations, but it's not acceptable to me to say I didn't read the agenda because I was out of town. It is our responsibility to have read said agenda and be prepared for tonight's discussion. If you want to vote me down, vote me down.